They've opened fire in Washington. Yeah, you heard that right. Congress versus the DOJ. A sweeping demand, a threat of subpoenas, and one name at the center of it all: Jack Smith. Jim Jordan, House Judiciary Chair, just sent a letter demanding Smith appear and produce internal records by October 28th. He accuses him of political abuse, constitutional overreach, even weaponizing justice. Here's the kicker. Smith once prosecuted Donald Trump. Now Trump's allies are turning the tables. This isn't just a clash over documents, it's a full-blown power showdown. And the outcome could shake the foundations of DOJ oversight forever. To understand what's happening now, we need to roll back. Let's retrace how we got here. Jack Smith was appointed as special counsel during the Biden administration to oversee two of Trump's most politically explosive legal battles: the classified documents case and the January 6th election subversion case. Smith and his team pursued major prosecutions. But after Trump won the 2024 election, the Justice Department dropped both cases, citing long-standing policy that sitting presidents can't be prosecuted. Even so, Smith stayed in the spotlight. Republicans, especially Jim Jordan, have long claimed the investigations were politically motivated. The GOP's narrative focused on weaponization, that DOJ under Biden was targeting Trump and his allies with prosecutorial zeal that bordered on a vendetta. Jordan, in particular, has publicly pushed other DOJ officials to testify in the past, including ones who worked under Smith.
Then a bombshell broke. Internal FBI documents revealed that Smith's office had requested or obtained phone and toll records of 8 Republican senators during the period around January 6th. That spying on lawmakers, elected officials, became the fulcrum Jordan used to justify demanding full accountability and making his move. So today, Jordan sent a blistering letter to Smith. A demand for testimony, a request for all emails, internal communications, scheduling statements, even contacts with the White House or DOJ. He gave a deadline, October 28th. Several former Smith deputies already invoked the Fifth Amendment in previous interviews, notably Jay Bratt and Thomas Windom. Jordan sees that as stonewalling. He claims Smith's tactics, raids, gag orders, surveillance, undermined justice's integrity. On the Democratic side, opponents view this as sharply hypocritical. Some argue, if you want transparency for Smith, show us Trump's. Republicans counter, no, Smith's methods require scrutiny. Tensions have been rising in committee rooms, late-night calls, and political war rooms. So now the stage is set. All eyes are on October 28th or sooner. But first, the pressure cooker is already boiling. Within hours of Jordan's letter, media firestorms lit up Capitol Hill. Reporters speculated on whether Smith would comply or mount a legal fight. Was this another oversight spectacle or something deeper? Trump himself chimed in. He's been relentless, calling Smith deranged and corrupt, demanding that the DOJ go after his political adversaries. His message is clear: justice for his critics, but vengeance for his supporters.
On the Hill, Republicans rallied. Senate Republicans, led by Grassley, had already issued their own demands to the DOJ, explained the subpoenaing of senators' phone records. They claim constitutional damage. Congress must be free from DOJ surveillance. Republicans now say Jordan's demand is righteous oversight, a pushback against an out-of-control Justice Department. Meanwhile, Democrats accuse Jordan of grandstanding. The ranking Democrat on the Judiciary Committee, Jamie Raskin, mockingly praised Jordan's demand because it forces the release of documents the public hasn't seen. But he also warned Republicans are weaponizing Congress to shield Trump. Some Republican insiders privately question, is Jordan biting off more than he can chew? If Smith summons his legal team and fights, a subpoena battle could turn ugly. If DOJ resists, the confrontation could spiral into constitutional standoffs, executive versus legislative. Public reaction is divided. Conservative media frames Jordan as defending democracy from prosecutorial abuse. Liberal outlets warn this is partisan revenge, a misuse of oversight to harass a prosecutor who did his job. But both sides see opportunity. The stakes: control of the narrative. In closed corridors, whispers surfaced of a deeper twist. What if this demand is just the start, not the climax? Inside some committees, staffers talk of future subpoenas, censure votes, and aggressive depositions. Some Republicans want to go all in, pry open records, expose communications, drag DOJ officials into the spotlight. Already, small tremors are visible. The DOJ's internal watchdog had reportedly opened an inquiry into Smith's tactics back in late 2024. Jordan now cites that as proof his case has weight.
And here's what shocks even insiders. This demand is not just retrospective. Some Republicans see it as zeroing in on future prosecutions, a warning shot to any DOJ attorney. Don't cross us. But here's the twist nobody's highlighting. The real danger is not if this move goes forward, but how far they're willing to push it. But here's the part nobody's talking about. What happens if Smith actually shows up or refuses? What if he fights? And what if this spiral doesn't stop with him? Let's zoom out. What does all this mean, beyond the headlines, for power, precedent, and politics? First, pretext versus principle. On its face, Jordan claims oversight. Show us your records. Tell us your logic. But the deeper layer suggests political warfare. The very institutions designed to be independent, prosecutors, grand juries, the DOJ, are now battlefields in partisan war. Historically, Congress has held prosecutors and executive officials in contempt or subpoenaed them, but the courts and traditions usually resisted direct interference. This moment recalls the Nixon Saturday Night Massacre, the Clinton impeachment probes, and the McCarthy hearings. Each time the question was, who guards the guardians? In Nixon's era, executive privilege blocked congressional demands. In Clinton's, Congress pursued independent counsels for overreach. Jordan's move echoes both, but takes it further. He's demanding direct accountability from a special counsel whose work was supposed to be insulated from politics. Second, this marks an escalation in the weaponization of oversight. If Republicans succeed in forcing Smith to testify or surrender internal memos, the next Congress could demand the same from DOJ officials under any president. Oversight becomes a tool of revenge, not balance. Third, the chilling effect. If prosecutors believe every internal memo or decision could later be dragged into political hearings, many may back away from bold cases. The line between justice and politics blurs. Imagine a prosecutor hesitating to investigate a powerful figure, fearing political retribution years later. Fourth, revenge politics. Trump sees this as vindication, the tables turning. His allies see leverage. Democrats see existential threat. If every legal weapon the GOP fears can be flipped, then no DOJ action is safe from retaliation. Fifth, the constitutional friction. If Smith refuses or invokes privilege or DOJ blocks, courts could face contempt motions, injunctions, and standoffs. The question becomes, which branch prevails, Congress or justice? And finally, the electoral layer. Republicans pitch this as defending democracy from abuse. Democrats argue it's sabotaging justice. Either way, it becomes campaign fuel for 2026 and 2028. What's happening now isn't just one hearing. It's a live test of how far each branch will go to control the machinery of law itself. Let's explore what could come next. Scenario A. Smith complies, but on his terms. Smith agrees to testify, but only in closed session, with limits. Jordan may accept partial cooperation and push for more later. Whatever he gets, he'll weaponize in public hearings. Democrats will call it selective, and both sides will leak details to the press. Scenario B. Smith refuses or cites prosecutorial privilege. DOJ intervenes. Courts become the new arena. The standoff could drag for months, fueling campaign ads and outrage cycles. Republicans accuse the DOJ of hiding secrets. Democrats call it legislative bullying. Scenario C. Partial cooperation with fallout. Smith releases limited files or offers testimony, but exposes internal tensions within the DOJ. What if the revelations embarrass Republicans or show they misread key facts? Oversight becomes political crossfire. Scenario D, the domino effect. Even if this fight fizzles, the blueprint is laid.
Future majorities could demand DOJ records, testimony, even prosecution notes. Oversight turns into vengeance. Whichever path we take, compliance, defiance, or escalation, it will redefine what independent justice means in America. So here's the question. Is this accountability or theater? Is Jim Jordan exposing corruption or protecting power? Will this be a turning point for transparency or the collapse of DOJ independence? Because this isn't over. October 28th isn't a date, it's a fuse. If Jack Smith walks into that hearing room or refuses or fights, the shockwaves will reach every branch of government. If you care about the rule of law, this matters. If you fear unchecked power, this matters even more. Like this video if you want me to break down what happens inside that hearing. Share it with someone who thinks justice and politics are still separate. And subscribe because this isn't the end of the story. It's the start of a new kind of war for America's legal soul. Stay tuned, the real reckoning hasn't even begun.